Davian said, "Did you see what Nicki said during the interview that NM6 might be her last album?" No. I'm actually going to read the entire interview. I'm actually going to start off doing that. That is going to be like a whole just like separate video for anybody, just like on YouTube, like who wants to hear, someone read the entire interview. So I'm actually going to get into that and let's see if it's going to make it. Nope. It doesn't even make it big. So I'm going to read the full interview. It's 3 pages, and then I'll get into where we're going to talk about the look. We're going to talk about the talking points. Once again, we're going to get into everything. Okay, so bear with me. So it says interview with Nicki Minaj, the cover of Vogue Italia. I had to conquer everything and I put off becoming a mother. Crowned the best rapper of all time, Nicki Minaj reveals how she managed to do it. In between her relationship with social media, fashion, and transforming herself on the red carpet, and of course with motherhood that she had to postpone for a long time. This was written by Filippo Ferrari. The interview with Nicki Minaj, the cover star of Vogue Italia, quote, "I'm grateful, but I don't dwell on the charts." Then she adds that a superstar is a superstar. Nicki is 5 minutes late, says Joseph, who works with her. Now, I believe that that's Joe, her publicist from Republic. We all know him. Just before starting the chat that you will read here. Oh, this interview, right? So she's 5 minutes late. Quote, "She's being a mother. I nod." And this is the interviewer speaking, or who's writing the article. He says, "I nod, but her figure as one of the most important rappers in history is so strong in my mind. Now, when I think of her playing with Little Papa Bear, I still imagine her dressed in a Givenchy, dressed in Givenchy and with a fluorescent wig." For Nicki Minaj, the last few years have been quite challenging. On the one hand, she has fully fulfilled her dream of having a child. On the other, her career reached new heights. In 2022, the song Super Freaky Girl debuted at #1 on the US charts, making her the first hip hop artist of this millennium to achieve this result. The last was Lauryn Hill, "You Did It," followed by a moved emoji she tweeted as soon as the news became official. Time passes, but Twitter, X as you will, still remains her favorite social network. There, she publishes streams of consciousness, even if she admits at times, "I should have waited a day longer to write certain things." And there, above all, are her most aggressive fans, the Barbs, the loudest community on the web. Quote, she says, "I don't think I'll ever be able to do enough to thank them," she says. Among them, comedians and meme engineers, ready to defend her from fake news, but above all, to laugh with her. "We have our sense of humor. If you get it, great. If you don't, so be it. You got it," she says, when I confess that I can't hold back the tears when I watch one of her most viral videos in which she repeatedly screams, "Did I lie?" in front of a crazy crowd. There are several versions. Someone even made a remix with vocals. I have that actually. "I hate how I look in that video." Why? Now that's me saying, I'm saying why. "When they started using it, I was like, I'm gonna block you." She laughs. "Then I gave in. It's actually really funny." Nikki is someone who laughs loudly when she laughs, and it happened several times during our conversation. At the same time, when she talks about work, she becomes serious in a second. First page done, second page. We ask about her new album. She says, quote, "I have a lot of really strong songs, but I don't want to rush. I want the album to mean something for the fans and for me. I will never be one of those people who releases songs just for the sake of it. I love music, I respect it." Yet she is eager to get back on stage, to relive everything as soon as possible for me and the Barbs. She recently founded her own label. In parentheses, it says, quote, "I'm looking for the right people to work on it, and I won't sign artists until I can give them 100%. That's going to be a separate video. But there's been a bit of everything along the way. Shoe lines, perfumes, a brand of press-on nails, collaborations with fashion brands. Together with Fendi, in 2019, she launched Fendi Prints On, a collection born from the whoa, you can't pronounce that one. Anyway, let me read that over. So it says, together with Fendi in 2019, she launched Fendi Prints On, a collection born from the homonymous verse of her song Chun Li, a capsule for which she flew to Milan, God, how I love Italy, quote, to create, quote, something that allowed me to unite Queens, New York with Italy, an honor beyond imagination. We also added the door knockers, the earrings that look like they're made of bamboo. Do you know what that meant to me? I wore them in high school in my neighborhood. At the base, we said, great discipline, always. Quote, I was one of those little girls who could understand if an adult was stupid. The lack of discipline around me made me want to be the opposite. Then again, I'm not always that way. But I believe in working hard to get results. I had to earn everything. I had nothing, and I wanted it more than anyone else. And when my friends drank or smoked weed or wanted to go to clubs, I went, but not as often. Everyone said I had a natural high. I was like that, happy but determined. I told people I can do this, almost like I knew it. This year, Billboard crowned her the best female rapper of, oh, sorry, whoa. Billboard crowned her the best rapper of all time. It doesn't say female rapper. Quote, I'm extremely grateful. It's something that still amazes me. At the same time, I try not to dwell too much on the charts or the awards. It's the only way I can continue to work. In short, the mission of becoming a mogul has succeeded. Oh. And if it's true that everything we get has a price, we ask her what she paid. Now, this is the interview we're talking. They say, in short, the mission of becoming a mogul has succeeded. And if it's true that everything we get has a price, we ask her what she paid. The first theme is motherhood and family. Quote, as a woman, I put off becoming a mother. A lot of women in the industry, especially older than me, haven't had children. Some don't regret it, but others do. I put it off. And then I didn't go to every Thanksgiving, Christmas, or birthday party because I had to work to support my family. I think the price was not having a quote normal life. Today, things are different because I can give my son what I couldn't have, but there are more things I would like to ensure for him and that I have to figure out how to give him. When we go out, for example, I have to worry about someone taking pictures of him. So every day I have to decide, is it more important to go for a walk with my son or to avoid him being photographed? We would also like to say that Nicki is someone who goes unnoticed when she decides to go out, but that would be a gamble. Thinking of her means thinking of an artist who has changed her skin 100 times, who has transformed every album and video into an aesthetic, third page, into an aesthetic manifesto, even rewriting the canons of beauty considered traditional. Think of the color pink, but also of all possible colors, wigs, red carpets. Does anyone remember the fake Pope at the 2012 Grammys? Latex suits, custom Versace, Mugler, and Givenchy dresses. Nicki Minaj, fashion and music, all connected. You look at her and you understand which direction she is going, what she wants to communicate, how she feels. She, quote, after my Barbie phase, I felt the need to strip myself of everything. It was the period of her album, The Pink Print, one of her most emotional works. A moment in which I started to show my hair again, yet I have always relied on fashion to express how I felt. Among her favorite shoots, she cites the one You Are Browsing by Petra Collins. Quote, I'll be honest, I put it in the top 3 of the best ever. Speaking of outfits, you can't help but to think of the Met Gala. One of her favorites in last year's. Oh, sorry. One of her favorites is last year's. Quote, Marnie, crazy. Very proud of that look. A bit of a mix of my Pink Friday eras. To find a less successful one, you will always have to go to the pink carpet of the Metropolitan Museum in New York in 2022 with a very low cut, dark look. She makes a point of making necessary premise. Quote, the dress was cool, the look perfect, but my boobs were too big for that outfit. This year, I focused on being sexy, something very different from everything I've done in the past. And in fact, she showed up in a Tom Brown pinstripe suit with a mermaid skirt, a sort of deconstructed reinterpretation of the dandy striped suit with a cascade of flowers on the shoulder and back. Definitely in line with the theme of the evening, superfine, tailoring black style. It represents a period of pride for the history of African Americans, she said when interviewed on the red carpet. Because yes, black dandyism was first and foremost a form of aesthetic and cultural resistance to discrimination. With pretty much every style expert behind her, Nicki is already moving forward with her next move in a market that has changed at lightning speed, where social media makes people famous overnight. We ask her if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Quote, a superstar is a superstar, she says. And if you are, you'll find a way to shine with or without social media, which, like all tools, can be used for good or bad. What I feel is that sometimes today, artists don't realize how important the record label is. They don't realize how much goes on behind the scenes. It all seems easy. We ask her who she likes among the artists who came after her. Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, so I'm sorry. It says, quote, Sabrina Carpenter. I didn't know she'd been around so long when I started listening to her. She's a breath of fresh air. I like Billie Eilish. I love everything she does. Then there's a dancehall artist. His name is Skang. And if on the one hand, she is serene because, quote, I no longer feel the need to prove anything, a beautiful feeling. On the other, she never stops being hungry. I have heard every possible criticism about me, and I have thought about giving up many times. Thank goodness I didn't. I hope that my story can be an inspiration and push children, adults, anyone not to give up. And that is Nicki Minaj for Vogue Italia 2025. All right, so that was me reading the full interview. So you guys like saw that, and like you can this is the only place I've seen it. I know that the magazine is out. And so, when this came out yesterday, like a lot of stuff was going on. So I don't really know like what where this person got this interview from. I really don't. But yeah, if you want it, just let me know.